So to code bubble sort, create an integer variable called counter, and I'm gonna set that to 1. Alright, then we're gonna have a while loop, and we're gonna keep looping. Alright, we're gonna keep counter lower than what our array size is. Okay, so I'm just gonna create an array on top. Okay, I'm gonna call it int array. Okay, n was 5 because the length is 5. Bubble sort specifically would have a while loop, and then inside of that while loop there will be a for loop. So just remember it like that if you really get confused, and you will get confused if you see the different types of sorting algorithms, so you're definitely going to get confused. Okay, so I have a for loop with I initialized to 0, and then I'm going to keep I less than 5 minus counter. Okay, don't really get into the how does this work. Okay, if you understood my dry running, you'll understand how does this work. Okay, so then inside of this for loop, I'm gonna have an if statement. This is gonna have an array greater than array. Let me just code this out, and then I'm gonna explain how does this work. Okay, basically this if statement, what it does is it's checking if our current element is greater than the element after it, and if it is, then you wanna just swap it. So inside of here you're gonna have the code for swapping, and since you were new to programming, right, they would have asked you to code a swap inside of an array. So this code is simple, you don't really need to worry much about it, but if you really do, then just I'm gonna explain it, right, if you don't understand it. If I have an array, it looks like this, right, and I'm gonna say 2 and 1. So 2 is gonna be our array.I, and it's gonna get into T. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 2, alright, or 1. I'm gonna put 1 inside of where 2 is. So now this is gonna look something like this. It's gonna look 1, and then there's gonna be a 1. Okay, because I put a 1 inside of there, but because our 2 was stored in the temporary variable, alright, now I can put T equal to, actually no, it's some the other way around. It's gonna be I plus 1. Okay, meaning where the second one is, there you're gonna put your T. So now 2 is gonna come inside of here like that. So here we just did a swap function. Alright, easy as that. Now the next thing that we're gonna have to do is outside of the for loop, okay, just outside, we're gonna have a counter and increment. Now here is what's happening. Okay, this is your bubble sort. Now inside of this bubble sort, what's happening, let me explain you the code, is that you're gonna keep counter lower than 1, lower than the length of the array, because there's 2 loops. Alright, the outer loop is going to loop the entire, from 3 till 1. The inner loop is going to keep comparing, alright, the two. So it's going to compare this, and then it's going to compare these two, and then it's going to compare these two, and then at the end it's going to compare these two. So that's why we have 5 minus counter. It's because we don't want to loop the entire, we don't want I to be less than 5, because if it is less than 5, it's going to go almost the entire array. We want it to be minus counter, because when we are in the first iteration, part of the thing is going to be sorted out, part of the entire array is going to be sorted out. So because part of the array is going to be sorted out at each iteration of counter, we want it to be 5 minus counter. So each time, what I basically mean is this: at the beginning you're gonna have to, this for loop is going to run till the end, almost till the end. It's just gonna be like 1 less. Then in the second iteration, remember, some part of the array is going to be sorted out. So the part that isn't sorted out, you're going to apply the for loop onto that. Okay, then in the third iteration, another part, 2 numbers are going to be sorted. So then you want to apply the for loop on the remaining part which isn't sorted. So you can see that each time our for loop is being applied onto a smaller part of the array. So that's why you want 5 minus counter. And at the end, because we are checking 5, a counter should be less than 5, we are incrementing counter. All right. So yeah, that's what bubble sort essentially is, if you want to code it. And at the end of the day, we want to also output our array that we just coded. And everybody does know, I'm sure you definitely do know how to output an array. I'm just going to say not equal to 5 because that's our length, and I'm going to plus that, and I'm just going to say cout array I, and I'm going to put an endl there. Alright, so let me just apply the sort function to this array. So it's 3, 20, 44, 5, 1. Now once it's sorted, you're going to see it's 1, and then it's 2, then it's 5, then it's 20, and 44. So it's sorted out. So yeah, pretty nice, isn't it? Thanks for watching.